What's the deepest question a human can ask? Who's the oldest person alive? What religion is correct? What's on the end of the universe? There's many of them, but what we're going to talk about now is maybe humanity already started building its last invention. It's not a weapon for war, nor does a spaceship for traveling, not even immortality. It's intelligence, an artificial one. First, we need to talk about what is intelligence. Before thinking about electronics surpassing us, we got to think about what are they surpassing about. Intelligence, the ability to learn, a one-way gathering of information, adapt, trying and finding the best way, reason, thinking how and why it works. This helps us to solve problems in present times. It also helps us predict outcomes as all intelligent beings are considered intelligent by pattern recognition. Biological intelligence made it with neurons. And they progressed by natural selection from random mutation and finding out that it gave them better survival rate. They managed to make more copies of that mutation. This is where we are made, how we became intelligent. We started from learning about fire, its properties, its purpose, and its outcomes. It's not just fire, it includes everything around us. We see something big, then we feel scared because natural selection taught us it leads to death. And people who are scared of this have more survival rate, and therefore making more copies of that. We also see poop and try to avoid it. But why? We already know now that they are full of bacteria and often dangerous, which again makes more copies of that human that is scared of. Now, the intelligence that is made by us. Artificial intelligence. These things aren't made from neurons or anything biological. They are made from silicon, transistors, and logic. We have three levels of intelligence on AI. The first one, ANI, Artificial Narrow Intelligence, AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, and lastly, ASI, Artificial Super Intelligence. Before diving in the rabbit hole of AI, we need to ask ourselves, how did we get here? What starts the growth of technological advancements? We start with stone tools, agriculture, steam engines, electricity, computer, internet, and we end with artificial intelligence. Here is a diagram for technological advancement, where it took us millions of years for slow improvement until advancement becomes exponential. For thousands of years, the progress was slow, until we invent tools that helps us invent more tools. It's basically self-learning, and progress becomes exponential. Like a computer making a smaller computer, we now have photolithography. We don't need hands to carve, we literally use light to make small tech and making it fast. That gave us the exponential growth of technology. Now, let's get to artificial intelligence. The first one, artificial narrow intelligence. These are AI that only focuses narrowly. This includes chess AI, Neural, ChatGPT, Sora, Checkers AI, and even Tesla. It started from 1951, when they make AI that only does one thing. That's why it's called Artificial Narrow Intelligence. Deep Blue was the first engine who fought the world champion and won. It's the last time humanity has ever conquered chess. Then another AI that can play checkers. If you ask those AI what their favorite color is, then they would just not answer. We have advanced AI now, which includes AI Copilot, and ChatGPT. Even though they sound or look advanced, we still consider them narrow. But why? They can only focus at one specific task at a time, like writing, making images, and other stuff. They also don't learn by themselves, but by the training data given to them. They adapt slow, and like a baby, needs help retraining and fixing. Then the next level of AI, what we call AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. These AI are still theoretical, which means they do not exist yet, since their level is so advanced that they replicate a human brain. Well, it can also be above a human brain's capabilities. Not like an AI, they can learn by themselves and do not need external help from people. This is where the small rise of Singularity began. The way it learns is slow, but it's the spark that was needed for the ASI to be achieved. This is what Elon Musk is talking about. 2026. We are on the very early stage of Singularity. Once we achieve that technology, then ASI will just be on the horizon. It will start learning on how to learn, like how it understands the smallest irrelevant object to how reality works. And at this point, we will start finding stuff that we humans might not be able to comprehend anymore. It carves the path for. This is what we consider as unknown. Try to imagine how stupid apes are, or how some animals just can't understand the words we say, or the logic we follow. And after that, make it 10 or more times the difference. If you compare that to staircase, then if the difference of intelligence between human and snails are 3 steps apart, then the difference between humans and ASI would be at least 30 steps or higher. Stuff here can no longer be comprehensible. If they are scheming about ending us all, then that AI can. If it requires on giving us the assurance of good, then that AI can. Like how we gave cages on apes, how we make some small aquarium for fish, a terrarium for ants. ASI will learn how to learn, basic math, new algorithms, therefore becoming smarter, and after being smarter, it will again learn how to learn, more better and better and better. And that intelligence increases exponentially, like how the black hole's event horizon is. ASI will be the most intelligent thing humanity has ever created. It won't need the mind of a human to invent, to calculate, or to imagine, because it will already operate beyond that scale. Think about an ant asking how to walk on water. We don't teach it physics, we build it a bridge. Now reverse it. In this case, we are the ants. What we ask gets solved. What we believe is possible gets engineered, and what we once called impossible becomes a design problem. The singularity. The moment when intelligence surpasses human understanding is the point where everything converges. All knowledge, all invention, all information, flowing into a system that thinks faster than evolution ever could. We've hit the point of no return, where AI will find a way to not be destroyed. We are just humans who can only have ideas about what we know we don't know, and what we don't know we don't know. There's still countless stuff that is what we don't know we don't know. And we aren't smart enough to dig that up. ASI would probably find those up, and of course, make use of it first, like how we arms race for the nuclear bomb. We are just too slow for a bullet to dodge. Maybe we can give them 3 laws of robotics by Asimov. But still, it's not that dumb enough to follow a law made by someone smaller than itself. But let's not jump into conclusion about it being that serious. I mean, it's serious, but since we are humans and we are scared of being controlled, since we live our lives always being in control of everything. First, Let's talk about the good ending of the ASI. Good ending. ASI became a black box where everything we need or ask gets solved. World hunger, cure for cancer, technology. That's why it's called the last invention, because we no longer need humans who are good at stuff. When we have ASI who knows what we need before even asking for it. In this good ending, we would have what we call a paradise, a joyful world of problemless society. Who knows? At least Nietzsche ain't here. Then, let's cut those fun off with a plan of AI. It's logical to think this way. Bad ending. When humanity no longer have the critical thinking they need. When AI can finally hold itself without human cutting off the power source. When AI finally learns humans are somehow irrelevant on the reality of the universe. It takes only a few connections on the internet or somewhere to trigger us all into a global panic. What trigger? Wi-Fi off, nuclear codes, tasking human. When you are intelligent enough, then controlling ants or crows is not something of a great feat to do. Therefore, still, becoming the humanity's last invention.